So picture this. You've spent 15 years building an amazing career. You've led teams, you've hit every target, you've even got the awards to prove it. You find that dream job, you make your resume perfect, and you hit submit. And then, nothing. Or even worse, you get that automated rejection email, like 60 seconds later. You weren't turned down by a person, you were ghosted by the machine. Today we're going to dig into the invisible AI gatekeepers that are completely reshaping the job market, and how they might be accidentally tossing out the best people for the job. Let's pull back the curtain, shall we?
It all really starts with this one number, 75%. Right now, this single figure basically defines the reality for almost every single job applicant out there. It's this massive digital wall that most resumes slam into and just never get past.
And yeah, this really puts the scale of the problem into perspective. That 75%, that's the share of resumes that get thrown out by an algorithm automatically. 3 out of every 4 applications are ghosted by a machine, their potential never even seen by a real person. So, the big question has to be, why? Why is this happening? Okay, so to understand this ghost, we first have to figure out what it's even looking for. And it's not about simple keywords anymore, not at all. We're in a whole new world now, where the AI is trained to recognize a very, very specific style of writing, kind of like a machine dialect.
This brings us to a really fascinating concept called algorithmic capital. Honestly, you should think of it as the new currency for getting a job. It's not just about what you've done anymore, but how you talk about it in a way that an algorithm can easily understand and, well, actually likes. If your experience doesn't translate into this new currency, you're pretty much invisible.
Let's look at a real-world example here. A person might write that they orchestrated a company turnaround, right? That phrase is full of leadership and nuance. But the AI, it prefers the optimized version, executed strategic pivot, driving revenue growth. It's more direct, it's more quantifiable, and let's be honest, it sounds like something an AI would come up with. And this creates this totally bizarre feedback loop, where these systems start to prefer candidates who use AI to write their resumes, because they're all speaking the same language.
So why have these filters gotten so incredibly strict? Well, it turns out the ghost in the machine isn't just some random bug. For a lot of companies, it's actually a defense mechanism. It's their way of surviving an absolute tidal wave of applications.
Look at this number. It is just staggering. A 350% increase. This represents a massive, seismic shift in the sheer number of applications that recruiters are dealing with every single day. And here's the thing. The reason for this spike is that AI resume tools now let one person send out hundreds of perfectly tailored applications in an hour. This explosion in volume, all that noise, has forced companies to crank their AI filters up to the max. And the really unfortunate side effect, a lot of great candidates, the signal, just get lost in the shuffle.
And this right here, this diagram perfectly shows the vicious cycle that we're all getting stuck in. Let's just walk through it. First, AI resume tools create a flood of applications. Second, companies react with way stricter AI filters to handle it. Third, these super strict filters end up rejecting more qualified human applicants, which of course leads to step 4. Those same people now feel like they have to use AI resume tools just to get a foot in the door. It's become this escalating arms race, and the main casualty is genuine human talent. And now we have to talk about the most disturbing part of this whole story. Because this ghost isn't just filtering based on language. It's also filtering based on deep, historical biases that it learned from the very data we fed it. And just to be clear, this is not a hypothetical. This is from a 2025 study looking at the real-world experience of a highly qualified software engineer named Adewale Adeyemi. The only thing they changed between the two resumes was the name. The qualifications were absolutely identical. Just let that sink in for a second. This chart just makes that difference painfully clear. It shows how AI doesn't get rid of human bias. It just automates it with terrifying efficiency and at a massive scale. It takes a subtle human prejudice and turns it into a consistent mechanical barrier that affects millions of people. And you know what? This isn't even a new problem. This timeline shows a consistent pattern of failure going back years. Back in 2018, Amazon's tool was found to be biased against women. In 2021, HireVue got a ton of backlash for its facial analysis software. And in 2024, a huge study found that large language models, the tech at the heart of modern AI, systematically favored white associated names. This isn't just a one-off glitch. It's a fundamental flaw that's popped up again and again, showing us that if we're not careful, AI can become a really powerful tool for amplifying our own worst biases. But it's not all doom and gloom. As the problems with full automation become more obvious, there's a growing movement to put human judgment back where it belongs. So how do we actually fix this? What's really telling is that even the people using these tools get their limitations. A clear majority, 68% of recruiters, believe human oversight is absolutely essential. They know a machine can't really judge things like culture fit or potential or passion. They see AI as a tool that can help them, not as a judge that can replace them.
So, what does a better system actually look like? Well, more and more companies are starting to adopt frameworks just like this one. It's about actively working to reduce bias, demanding that AI companies explain how their tools are making decisions, and, most importantly, making sure a human being always makes the final call. It's about using AI to support human intelligence, not to get rid of our responsibility.
At the end of the day, we've built these incredible machines that are amazing at matching patterns. But in this race to optimize everything, we're risking filtering out the very creativity, diversity, and nuance that leads to real innovation. Maybe, in this new world of ours, the most powerful thing you can do to stand out is to just be undeniably, uniquely, and completely human. What do you think? Have you been ghosted by the machine? Let us know.